Hello everyone, this is Mohit here from Master of Sales. Master of Sales is a podcast by sales leaders for to its listeners, explaining about sales strategies and how to handle teams, how to motivate them, and give their best performance. So today we have Sajid Painadi with us. He's a sales leader in an IT company, and great to have you, Sajid. We'll start over the session. So for the start, we'll
Good
just
evening, Mohit.
yeah, sure. For the start, just give the audience a brief about yourself and what business are you into.
Right. So I currently head sales and marketing at TruckNet Digital Technologies. So TruckNet is a fully owned subsidiary of Portico Network Logistics, which is one of the top logistics startups in India. It's funded by Axel Partners and Machine Mandin Nilekani of Infosys. So TruckNet is into logistics technology, and we have cloud-based platforms for enterprises, which will allow them to manage their logistics better. So the broad idea is that globally, when the cost of logistics is something like 8% of overall revenue or a country's GDP, in India, it is at 14%. So it is one of the stated goals of the national logistics policy to bring that cost of logistics as a percentage of the country's GDP, to bring that down to closer to the global average. So what we do is we help organizations to digitize, streamline, bring transparency to, and overall help with automation and things like that. So we have a cloud-based platform which a company can start using just like that, and within no time, not time, it will take a few months, because most of these organizations who need platforms like ours will have a fairly complex logistics ecosystem. So uh, how they should move, how they can adopt this platform and get to a better place in terms of managing, in terms of having control and transparency. So this is what we do at TruckNet as a company. And I
Great. Yeah.
manage two responsibilities here. I head the sales. I also head the marketing efforts.
Great, Sajid. So yeah, as far as we have understood about TruckNet, it is pure play enterprise software based on cloud. And these enterprises would be in the Fortune 500,000, 5,000, 10,000 companies. So how did you land up in enterprise sales? What was the process? Did you start with consumer sales, or right after your education you were with enterprise sales?
I did my MBA from IIM Calcutta, and from there, the roles that I got were in enterprise sales. So after working in an IT services company sales for 2 years, I started my own digital marketing agency. I ran it for about 5 years, and as the founder and uh, primary salesperson. So my work was marketing and selling to B2B customers. So at the start of the pandemic, then I joined TruckNet. So it's been a long, about 8 years of work experience in the B2B sales front.
Great, Sajid. So I think you have had a good founder experience, and as founders, I think that is one of the most interesting, challenging, and difficult sales processes ever possible, because it's just not talking to customer. You have to do the complete backend part of it, and that truly, I don't think there's better way to learn sales, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's even funnier when I look back, because when I started, I was supposed to be in charge of execution and account management, and two of my partners were supposed to be the sales people, more of the hunting kind of role. and I was supposed to be the taking up the farming kind of account management kind of role. But once we started, we found that our aspirations were different, and the broader direction that we wanted to go in was different. So about 3 months into the startup, after quitting our jobs, so we split amicably, and then I had to start leading the sales effort. So I was I started off as a reluctant salesperson. So even when I started my first job after my MBA in sales, I was reluctant. I was a bad salesperson at the time, and I didn't really like it. I think there is something about sales that we as a society has a problem with. So from when you are a child, I don't know whether this is an experience that everyone shares, but at least for me personally, or in my networks, so sales was kind of looked down upon, mostly because when you say sales or marketing, the first thing that you think of is the door-to-door, hardworking salespeople who come to you with products that you may want, but you definitely did not ask for. So they knock on your door, they do a demonstration of their product. I absolutely despised that. My family didn't like it. No, none of us liked that. And as a result, I generally had a negative view of what sales is. And at the broader society at large, people don't really distinguish between sales and marketing. People often say marketing to mean door-to-door sales, right? So when I came out of my graduation and when I joined my first job, I took up sales because that was something that I was not great at. I was not very comfortable, but at the same time, I wanted to start up something at some point, and I wanted to build my sales skills and going to. So I had two job offers. One was from a large multinational technology company, and the other was from a smaller Chennai-based company. So I joined the smaller company so that I will have more exposure and more ownership and things like that. So I was a terrible salesperson for them, and and it was somehow not working out for me for various reasons. And so that then I from there I left the job and started the digital agency. And then also I was not really planning to take up sales, like I said earlier. But then 3 months in, I was forced to start doing sales. But once I started doing it, I absolutely started loving it. And uh, as of today, I think it has a lot to do with the kind of sales that I do, which is consultative sales. So which is more of conversations and educating customers. I think pretty much all of sales is educating your customers, uh, but at the same time, uh, 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 consultative sales has its own challenges, its own interesting, ways of uh, uh, helping you, stay tuned, be in the moment, and you have to be very sharp. You have to have that ability to build rapport with people quickly, and it's a great place for people to go to. So that is what I have been enjoying for a while.
Truly, truly. In fact, how you highlighted that what sales is perceived as, and now it's not selling things which people don't want. It's wherever software is sold, it is a consultative thing where we don't only give you this, but we give you a solution. We study your business, we study everything, and then give you a solution. So, yeah, aptly put in what
But
you're doing right
while
now.
while that is true, one thing we have to is consultative sales and is more positive than negative. But what I wanted to also highlight was that in there is still large areas in the country, in the business, various businesses where technology has not really reached. And in those places, when a pioneer goes in, when somebody new goes there with the technology that can help I think they still face the same challenges that somebody would have faced 20 years ago, trying to enter a field which was new at the time, but we take for granted today. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, Ajit. In fact, rightly put that however consultative or business oriented we become, there is a thing of stigma which have been created, and it's not that easy that it will go away in near future. Truly agree to that. So, just adding up to your thoughts as well, how easy or difficult is enterprise sales in terms of lead generation and in terms of account management or account upselling? Like, these are two main areas, and what you do specifically at your company or previous companies, and how easy or difficult it is.
So I look at it two ways. One, how much uh, 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 whether your market has recognized the need for your product or not. So fundamentally, how you generate leads differ in these two cases. If the market has already recognized the need for your product and it's a relatively mature market, or it's a market that is growing, then there are ways to generate leads which could be different from if it's a nascent market and you are trying to build that market itself, which is what is happening in our case. So in our case, inbound leads are low because there is not a lot of awareness or active push for what we do. While people know and recognize that what we do may be required, there is not a lot of active push for what we do. But there could be other segments at the same time where people could be actively looking for your service or your type of service. So, how you generate leads fundamentally, in my view, is split across these two axes. Coming to
Yes,
from an upsell and cross selling perspective, I think each salesperson should have his own mental framework of how the process works. So if good organizations will make it easy for you by creating that framework for you and making sure that everyone in the team follows that same framework. And a framework is not just targets, right? So a framework is a path, a reliable path that you can follow to achieve the targets that you have. So good organizations will have a good playbook, and that playbook gets created through experience, through hard work, understanding your customer correctly, understanding your customer segment, how to identify your customer segment, uh, how to qualify somebody uh, to know whether they are in your customer segment and whether it's worth investing time with that prospect or not. So a lot of it can be institutionalized, and a lot of it can come from us as individuals as well. But I think that even within a framework that a company has, if you as a salesperson wants to distinguish yourself, I think in that process of distinguishing yourself, I think you will evolve your own ways of working, even within that framework that your organization or team provides. I
truly, truly
hope that
put.
makes sense.
Yes, yes, it does makes a lot of sense. Uh, Targets is not only the way to create a framework. You need a playbook, and mature companies or good sales processes oriented companies always have that. So, just on that front, you have been doing enterprise sales, and when it is push based, it is difficult. There may be a need, but getting to those people or getting to the right decision maker, there are a plethora of challenges, especially in enterprise. So what is the technical stack you use there to make that process easier, and has it given you more success than your no technical stack? So any tools which you use to make it easy to target people or to target specific accounts. What could be your process around that?
Right. So I think that unlike say 10 years ago, I think we have a ton of accessible tools that we can use often for free. So I use HubSpot as the primary marketing and sales stack for us. So uh, it we chose it because we wanted to start live and we didn't want to spend money till we figure things out. So HubSpot, the basics of HubSpot gives you both essential pieces of sales and marketing for free. And at some point, then you grow out of it into the paid plans or into more differentiated stack with marketing being done by one tool and emailing being done by another tool. So you grow into that later on. But if somebody is starting out and if or if you need something personally to structure your work, I think something like HubSpot or Zoho is a definite and very useful application to have. You can use it on your laptop or you can use it on your phones. It helps you keep organized. It helps you keep on top of your pipeline. And it also helps you integrate your marketing effort and your sales effort seamlessly.
Any tool which you use to generate leads better? So, for example, how do you reach out to the right people? Is it only through LinkedIn, or what kind of cold calling methodology do you use?
So what I would recommend is for you to have a hypothesis as to what the qualifying criteria. So I am assuming that we are thinking from a starting perspective. Uh, so you are getting into something new. So then I would start with how do I qualify someone and how do I should have a funnel essentially, and I should have entry criteria for the top of my funnel, which should be broad. So if I am selling logistics technology software, then the top of my funnel is all companies in India. If India is my market, all companies in India who uses trucks, who sell material, who ship goods. That is the top of my funnel, right? But when it comes to bottom of my funnel, I may have stricter criteria for revenue or complexity or company sizes, and you can have the criteria evolve over time with your customers evolving. You will see those patterns, and it is important for you to always take things back from your actual closed sales to go back and optimize your funnel.
Truly makes sense. So, Sajid, now more on the team front. So, how do you motivate your team to level up or fire up their entire potential? So, what strategies have you used to motivate your team members? Any count?
Right. So I sorry, I'm taking a moment to think this through. So I take a fairly personalized approach. Not everyone is same or similar, but at the same time, there can be a couple of axes on which things can pivot. So my rule of thumb on this is the kind of aggressions that somebody is able to display and the kind of consultative patient relationship building that somebody is able to do. So I look at my sales team as a mix of these two. So how aggressive someone is. So usually these two are, I look at it as two different axes and people to be lying somewhere in between those two axes. So how to motivate someone depends on what is the mix of where those people are. So essentially, when somebody is very aggressive, what motivates them is different from when somebody is more consultative, more patient. So the intrinsic motivation levels of these two people are different. The fundamental variables that motivate them are different. How they respond to stimuli is different. So what I do is, and you often will not find two people who are same, right? So what
Hmm.
I do is, one, I manage people who report directly to me, uh, using this mental model that I have, and I
Hmm.
also coach them in certain ways to manage their teammates in certain ways.
Sure, sure. Got it. Totally understand that. So, yeah, I think we have fairly covered most of the topics in terms of how and what kind of skills and what kind of processes makes a good salesperson. So, just a rapid fire round for your opinions on some crucial topics. And it starts like this. What
Sure.
do you prefer? Incentives or no incentives? No monetary incentives?
I think that salesperson without an incentive to drive what he does, I think that is
Hmm.
a crime to not have incentives for them. So I
Hmm.
think that, but at the same time, incentives, all incentives need not be money, right? So like I said, there are different people who are driven by different things, but there has to be a monetary component to the incentive for sure. But if you only for the incentive, then I don't think that is a long-term sustainable approach to things. But there has to be incentive. The salesperson is results driven. So when he is looking at his work as results driven, naturally he is going to look at uh, how he is being rewarded, and he is going to look at that as well through the same lens. So if you are not meeting that, I think that is you setting yourself up for failure.
Sure. And what do you prefer? Should the incentives be only on closure or should it be on effort as well? So effort could be all the processes which are being followed, the playbook which is being followed, but results are somehow not in your favor. So the incentive should be on
Right. I think
closure or effort.
I think the answer to that is better to be spoken in the context of B2B technology sales,
Hmm.
because the answer to that question will vary from industry to industry.
Yeah.
And in B2B technology sales, where the sales cycles are so long, how your company is perceived, how your team delivers value, uh, 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 how your team performs, and it's not just about your contribution to that. So I would think that it needs to be a mix of multiple things, and uh, uh, an incentive that happens only for the end result, I think that will burn people out. I think that I think so. Salespeople need closures, right? And if your
Yes.
closure only happens once in 6 months, 9 months, then it's a very long and harsh life to lead. So definitely there has to be something to pepper it up and keep them going.
Great, great. Great, Sajid. Thank you so much for your views and opinions on a lot of topics. And thank you for your time. We finish our podcast on Master of Sales with Sajid Painadi. Uh, sure. Thank you so much, Sajid, for your time.
Thank you, Mohit, for reaching out. It's been great talking to you.